37 million ounces gone in under 2 months. Not from Reddit forums. Not from meme traders. From the actual vaults that are supposed to supply the world with silver, bars that were always available for delivery, just not there anymore. At the same time, coin dealers quietly flip their signs. Ships in 24 hours turns into backorder, call for availability. Premiums jump, choice disappears. And in the middle of that, the paper market still pretends everything is normal. Spot price wiggles. Futures bounce. Commentators shrug. But the inventory chart is screaming. Critical lows. So here's the question behind this video. If the shelves are going empty, why is the price still pretending nothing's wrong? And does that $100 target people whisper about actually make sense in a world where real metal is disappearing? By the end of this video, you'll understand 3 things. Where we are in a 4-stage pattern that has repeated for centuries. Why inventory collapse means regime change, not just a price spike. How a normal person can position themselves without gambling, hype, or leverage. And yes, we're going to talk about that $100 silver number in a grown-up way. 1. The pattern nobody wants to admit. Let me give you the pattern first, because without it, the headlines just look random. It's brutally simple. Stage 1, establishment. A commodity becomes money. Governments back their currency with it. Coins are real, redeemable, trusted. Nobody talks about shortages because the system is built around physical backing. Silver in everyday coins, gold in central bank vaults. Paper representing something real, stable, predictable, boring. Stage 2, manipulation. Someone realizes you don't actually need metal for every promise. You can issue receipts, spin up futures contracts, build ETFs and certificates, all saying, don't worry, the metal is there. 1 ounce turns into 10 claims. 10 claims turn into 50. The paper world gets rich. And as long as only a fraction of people ask for delivery, the game works. The price looks stable because the market thinks supply is infinite. On paper, it is. Stage 3, the squeeze. Then something changes. Demand rises. Confidence cracks. People stop rolling their contracts and say, I'll take delivery, please. Suddenly, those vaults that looked huge on spreadsheets start shrinking in real life. Registered inventories drop. Deliverable stocks get drawn down. Premiums spike. And one uncomfortable truth emerges. There isn't enough metal to satisfy the promises. That's where inventory charts go from background noise to front page panic. Stage 4, the break. At some point, somebody can't deliver. An exchange halts trading. A big player gets cash settled. Rules change mid-game. Paper contracts implode. Trust evaporates. And the people holding physical metal, not promises, discover they've been playing a completely different game all along. That's the pattern. Money paper squeeze break. We've seen it before. We're watching it set up again. And this time, silver inventories are telling you exactly where we are. 2. 3 times this pattern already played out. Before we talk about critical lows in $100, you need proof this isn't just theory. Example 1. The Hunt Brothers Silver Crunch. Late 1,970 seconds. 2 Texas oil billionaires decide they're done with dying dollars. Inflation is ripping. Nixon killed the gold window. Their answer? Silver. Not a little. Not a diversified slice. They buy physical bars. They pile into futures. They demand delivery. At one point, they control roughly 200 million ounces. About half in their possession, half in contracts. Silver goes from single digits to almost $50. Vaults drain. The exchange panics. What happens? Margin requirements explode. New long positions are banned. The game is tilted overnight. Prices collapse. The hunts blow up. Wall Street breathes again. But one group walks away just fine. People who bought unleveraged physical at old prices and simply held through the chaos. Paper died. Physical survived. Same pattern. Example 2. The 1,971 gold window slam. Foreign governments look at their dollars and say, we'd like the gold behind this, please. Physical drains out. The US realizes it can't deliver all the gold it's promised. So in 1971, the door slams shut. No more gold redemption. Currency is now fully paper. Physical backing is over. What happens? Gold doesn't politely drift higher. It explodes from $35 into the hundreds. Fiat lost trust. Metal repriced reality. Same pattern. Example 3. Palladium's silent massacre. Early 2000s. Palladium isn't on TikTok. It's not cool. But it is critical for catalytic converters. And one country, Russia, controls most supply. Shipments get delayed. Physical becomes scarce. Paper traders sitting on futures think it's business as usual. Until delivery time, then, no metal, price spikes several 100%. Industrial users scramble. Some get priced out, some get crushed. Once again, those who owned real metal beat those who owned only promises. 3 examples. 3 different metals. Same story. When paper promises outgrow physical reality, the squeeze moves from charts to warehouses. That's where silver is now. 3. What critical lows actually mean. Inventories are low is the kind of phrase that sounds boring. Until you see it in human terms. Imagine a supermarket. The manager says, "Relax, we have food for everyone." Then, over a few months, shelves on aisle 3 go half empty. The freezer section has limit 2 per customer signs. Delivery trucks still arrive, but with smaller loads. On paper, the store has inventory. In real life, people notice something's wrong long before the news catches up. That's what critical low silver inventories are. They're not zero. They're low enough that the system stops behaving normally. What does that look like? Vaults that used to build stocks now quietly bleed them. Deliverable ounces fall, even as trading volume looks healthy. Premiums on coins and small bars detach from the spot price. Whispers start, "We can get metal, but not in size. Not at that price." Remember, the whole point of a futures and wholesale system is that big buyers can source large amounts of metal on demand. When inventories hit levels where that becomes hard, the system is already in stage 3, the squeeze. 4. Why $100 isn't just a hype number. Let's talk about that headline. $100 target incoming? Most people treat it like a lottery ticket. Will it hit? Will it fail? Where do I sell? Wrong question. The real question is, what kind of world makes $100 silver necessary? Because $100 silver isn't about price. It's about pressure. Here's what sits behind that number. Years of structural deficits where more silver is used than mined. Solar, EVs, electronics, medical gear swallowing millions of ounces annually. Recycling that can't keep up. Miners who can't magically double production just because price wiggled a bit. Governments and big players quietly hoarding instead of selling. At some point, the market has to answer a brutal question. Who gets metal and who doesn't? Price is how that decision is made. $30 might ration demand in a calm world. $50 might ration demand in a stressed world. In a full-blown squeeze where inventories are critically low, where industrial users, investors, and governments all compete, $100 stops being a crazy target. It becomes the magnet zone that pulls price towards the level, where someone finally says, at this price, we can't afford to use as much. We'll redesign. That's the regime shift, not a meme spike. A new normal where the metal simply lives in a different price universe. 5. Where we are in the pattern right now. Let's map it. Stage 1. Establishment. Silver spent over a century as money. Coins, bank backing, trust. That era is done. Stage 2. Manipulation. Decades of futures, ETFs, certificates, layers of claims per ounce. Most people never asked for delivery, so the game worked. That era is wobbling. Stage 3. The squeeze. Inventories slide. Deliverable stocks drop. Premiums detach from spot. Delays and out-of-stock signs show up where they never used to. That's where critical lows live. We are here. Not at zero inventory, but at not enough to satisfy everyone who might ask. That's the dangerous zone, because the next move isn't gradual, it's non-linear. A few big players decide they want physical now, not next quarter. They pull metal. Smaller players panic and follow. Retail wakes up late and pays whatever number is on the screen, if they can even get anything. That's how a system sitting at low snaps overnight into none. Stage 4. The break. The last stage isn't just a higher price, it's a market structure failure. Forced cash settlements, halted trading, sudden rule changes, legal fights over who gets the last real bars. At that point, price quotes are just numbers. The only thing that matters is, do you have it or don't you? 6. What a normal person can actually do. Here's where most videos blow it. They give you apocalypse talk, then quietly try to sell you something. I'm not here to sell you anything. I want you to think like an adult in a system that's clearly stretched. So here's a framework you can actually use. Step 1. Decide if you want zero in a post-$50 world. Forget $100 for a second. Ask a simpler question. If silver spent the next 10-20 years between $50 and $100, do I want 0% of my wealth in it? If your honest answer is yes, 0%, I'm fine. Then you don't have a silver decision to make. If your honest answer is no, 0% feels wrong, then you need an allocation plan, not a prediction. Step 2, pick a slice, not a magic price. Instead of, should I buy now or wait for a pullback? Ask, what percentage of my net worth makes sense in silver at all? Maybe that's 5%, maybe 10-15%, maybe split between gold and silver. Write the number down. That way, you don't panic and chase at the top. You don't freeze and do nothing while inventories vanish. You treat silver as part of your foundation, not a lottery ticket. Step 3. Understand ownership versus exposure. Most people never stop and define this. Exposure is a chart on a screen. Futures, ETFs, derivatives. You participate in price, but you're still inside the system. Ownership is boring. Coins, bars, metal in a safe you control. No counterparties, no margin calls, no trading halts. In a squeeze, exposure is where stories happen. Ownership is where survival happens. You can trade if you want. Just don't confuse speculative exposure with actual protection. Step 4. Keep it simple and liquid. If inventories are truly at critical lows, the last thing you want is to be stuck with weird, illiquid stuff. Skip. Collectibles, fancy designs, numismatic premiums you don't understand. Stick to well-known coins, recognized bars, standard weights anyone will buy on site. In a stress system, liquidity is a superpower.